Good morning, boys and girls, moms and dads, everybody in viewer land. As you can see, we got snow. We have a winter storm warning up here, but right along the lakeshore, we don't get as much snow as everybody inland. But you can see we got the Champion dual fuel outside, not running yet because we have the gen tent on it to protect it. So you can see how that works in the snow, the ice, the rain, and everything. So it's good to have that because you don't want your electric exposed in the generator to moisture. So you can see even my plug is covered, so my connections are secure from moisture, and I have the cord running inside the garage, so there's no exposed electric to the environment, and I have the shop vac inside, so we're going to go plug that in after we start it. So why don't we go ahead and start the generator, but you can do that pretty easy here. So bear with me. Can't get that myself here. All right, forgive my camera work there, boys and girls, moms and dads. But I got her running. Our camera lady's socializing our cats still. So I'm a solo operation. But we have the generator running. And I added my fuel before I pushed it out here with the canopy on it too, the gen tent. They have a little opening on there that you could add the gasoline to, but I'm not a fan of that. It's easier just to undo those straps, lift the whole gen tent off and fuel it. Before you refuel a generator, make sure you let it cool off for 5 minutes. You don't want to fill a hot generator, so make sure it cools off for 5 minutes. And the exhaust is cool because you don't want to hurt yourself or start a fire. So you can see we have our plug here. It's not plugged in for safety. And I got her plugged in now. And the generator's ran for a little bit, so we can put a draw on it now. So that's the Champion dual fuel protected. No exposed electric connections out in the rain and the snow. We got the gen tent on, and that's good. But we're not going to want it to die with a load on it. That's a draw, an appliance, or anything else. You want it to go to sleep running out of fuel with no load on it. So we're going to let her run. She'll run for 10 or 15 minutes on that quart of non-ethanol fuel. The non-ethanol fuel, she'll run for 15 minutes. But we'll go over here to the Generac. Go to the transfer switch here. As you all recall, you take off the thumb screw, and inside is the switch for the transfer switch, and we're going to talk about that right now. Currently it's in the on position up, and it'll have a green indicator showing that. So that's how you want it for normal operation. Okay, so we're going to walk over to the Generac here before she starts today and go over a couple of things. Since we have a winter storm warning in our area, you could end up with prolonged run times on generators. It's highly recommended that at 24 hours of runtime that you shut the Generac down. So we'll put the keys in here. We'll open her up today just to show you a couple of things that you need to do. You can see the green lights on for our operation. That it's last time it was run, it had the complete checkout. But if you had this generator running for 24 hours, you need to shut it down for 10 minutes. So what you would do is your green light would be flashing green. It would be flashing green because it's producing electric for the house, and you have a load on it, and the load is the appliances. So you're going to want to come to your switch here, this breaker, and you're going to flip it off. You're going to leave that off for 5 minutes minimum. That way it's not producing power. Here we go, she's starting. So it wouldn't be producing power at that point. Then you would push the red stop button and you would go to that transfer switch that we just showed you, and you would flip that off. Okay, you would flip that off, and then you would pull your 7.5 amp fuse right here. You would pull that out, put it in a safe place because you don't want to lose that, and you're going to need it. So you can take your 7.5 amp fuse, put it in your pocket or something. At that time, you'll let it cool off for another 5 minutes, 5 or 10 minutes. Check your oil. Pull a dipstick, bring a little rag, check the oil. Then once your oil is good, or if you had to change it, you could change the oil and filter. But if your oil's good, then you're going to look at your gas connections, make sure that there's no leaks. And then you're going to look at this side where the light is. That's your intake side. That's where the air goes in. So in the winter, you're going to want to keep snow away from that, and debris and leaves in the fall. The other side is your exhaust. So you're going to want to keep your Generac clear of snow and debris and leaves. So take a look at the louvers here on this side. Make sure that the intake isn't obstructed. Then once you've let it sit for a little bit and you've done all your stuff, it's probably been about a half hour, and that's okay. So now what you do is you put your 7.5 amp fuse back in, and then you go to the green auto button. You push the auto button. Then you walk over to your transfer switch and you flip that back up to the green. The generator will be running. So you got your fuse in, you got it running with the green button. You did your transfer switch. What are you missing? You're just missing turning on that 200 amp breaker right here. So you're going to turn that back on after about 5 minutes of run time. That way the generator runs cool and it is ready to run then. Then you go ahead and flip that breaker on and you'll see your green light flashing. Then go ahead and close up your cabinet. You close up your cabinet and lock both sides so that the cover doesn't blow down the street in the wind. So that's what you do for prolonged run times. And they say 50 hours for your oil change for the first time or every year, and then 200 hours. But I don't necessarily agree with that. I paid a lot of money for my unit, as you all did too. So do it every 50 or 100 hours, whatever you feel is best to do. But I wouldn't go 200. So it's just a short time without the power. It doesn't have to run, it can't run for days and days and days without you checking it. It's an air-cooled machine. It needs you to check the oil. So, all right, I hope you all learned something. Be safe out there in the winter, the storms, and everything else we get in our cool world. So, talk to you later. Bye.